morning, everyone. And thank you for having me first up. I feel like I've got the morning coffee shift, so I'll try and get through my coffee and then hopefully get some energy into myself as well as the room. So today, I just want to introduce Milda as well. So Milda's my head of products at Crosstech at the back. So we're both here today. So if you've got any queries, come and speak to us. We're nice, friendly people, I promise. So what are we doing today? What are we doing in this program? We are essentially building a scalable system to automatically verify the stop vehicle detection system, or the SVD. And for a little bit of the SVD, although it's an acronym, it's actually a complex system of systems, which is important later on in my pitch. But what problems are we actually solving? So today, the current stop vehicle detection has no scalable learning and verification method. For those who don't know in the room, it's all done manually. And because of that, its efficacy as a system of systems is actually limited by the speed in which humans can manually verify, feedback, and improve the system, which is quite interesting. And not to share sort of bad news in the room, this is previously from the Office of Railroad report on how the SVD system was performing to its targets. And you can obviously read there's a lot of red and a little bit of green. Now, some of that is from what I've learned from the start of this program is down to how the metrics are measured. But there's also, comes back to my problem points, as it not being a scalable way to get that efficacy up. But they have invested a lot of time and money. And with time and money, you can make it better. And they have made it a lot better, which I think is a real achievement to go from that to that in a very short amount of time on a very complex system. But that still comes back to the main problem. Is that scalable for the future? No. And that's where computers can come in and solutions. And Crosstech, we specialise in computer vision systems within heavy transport. So we do a lot. We came from rail originally, and obviously moving into road. And our VIDA solution is quite simple, really. Can we use cameras on the road to verify the stop vehicle detection system, which is mainly radar-based, in real time or near real time, so that feedback loop to the verification of the system, how it's performing, can be much more robust and scalable and overcome those problems I mentioned in the first slides. And the advantages of that is, A, it's automated. You don't need people watching video. That's time consuming and expensive. B, you can do what every machine learning system should be doing, which is continuous learning. C, you give your operators and your safety teams timely insights on how the system is performing. If you make changes to the SVD system, what impact has that had in the real life? Can we learn from that? Was that a good change? Was that a bad change? And most importantly, to the point about safety from the video clip we saw, it's an extra layer of protection of a very complex system. And just briefly how that works, really, really simple. Slide, but more complex in practice. As always, is you collect raw video from the data from the roadside cameras, you compare that with the SVD outputs, and from that we can then build a computer vision analytics system, which I showed on the slide before, and that can then feed back into a dashboard of the live performance of that SVD system. That is what we are going to do in this trial if we're successful in phase 2. And what you end up is you have the SVD radar system, but you also have a layer of protection underneath, which is the VIDA system, that basically makes that whole system more robust and scalable. And I know we have to get onto some of the financials. And just in terms of annual benefits to national highways, for example, there's sort of two main benefit streams or arms. You've got on the left-hand side the safety benefits, and that's preventions of essentially accidents and harm. And then on the right, you've got the efficiency benefit. Basically, you're removing the need for people to look at screens, fill out very complex spreadsheets, do lots of complex data analysis, at repeated times, year on year into perpetuity until you come up with an automated solution. And you can read that yourselves, but that's how the calculations and assumptions work. In terms of the market size, I know that's always very important. Essentially, how we've worked this out is, and I'm sure you all know TAM, SAM, and SOM. I'm not going to explain that. But it is a high growth market. Smart motorways are becoming more and more increasingly popular, not only in obviously the UK, but also in overseas geographies. And you can obviously read it's growing at a healthy CAGR. And our sort of route to market, like many public sector sort of industries, is either through the SVD manufacturers themselves, as you know, potentially, but also through public tender and frameworks and some of the O&M type relationships in those markets. There's not that many. It's not like we can go and sell an app and put it on an app store. So it is quite limited in the public procurement space. In terms of monetization, I think, you know, again, for a public company, public funding, I think, you know, fixed price based on actually how many miles are being inspected, how many cameras you're deploying is probably the fairest option. There might be, you know, a debate around the price point, but obviously you've got to be able to support a system with a minimum team and a minimum capability. And then lastly, distribution strategy is, you know, as I said, probably through tier one relationships or the sell through the existing SVD providers. And then last one, who's actually doing the work? So we do have a really expert team of computer vision engineers. Our computer vision team is run by PhD grade CV specialists, and we've got, you know, one of the few SMEs with mass experience of coming from building a product and scaling it into a safety critical industry. And here's just a few of my leadership team that will be working on the program. I know I've got to wrap up because I can see my timer, and yes, that will do. Thank you very much for listening to me.